Capricorn, the air around you is shifted. You can't see it, but you can feel it, like a quiet rustle in the dark, like footsteps that stop when you turn around. Something is being arranged behind the curtain of your daily life, a trap with your name on it. Do not take this lightly. Nets are not thrown in the open, they are woven in silence, stitched together by envy, whispered together in secret. While you walk forward, someone is watching your steps, waiting for the exact moment to catch you off guard. You've felt it, haven't you? The strange heaviness in your chest, the sudden arguments that came out of nowhere, the shift in how certain people look at you, the way their words feel kind but their eyes hold something else. This is not your imagination. This is the shadow of a snare forming. But hear this, Capricorn. What is hidden can still be exposed, and what is planned against you can still be broken before it touches you. This message has come as your warning, your shield, and your awakening. Before we go deeper, type these words into the comments to seal your spirit against the snare. I will not fall into the trap. Say it boldly. Write it clearly, because the moment you declare it, you begin to strip the trap of its power. Stay with me, Capricorn. What I reveal next will open your eyes to why this is happening now, and how you will walk through it untouched. Capricorn, understand this clearly. Traps are never built where everyone can see them. They are born in silence, crafted in shadows, hidden behind ordinary smiles and casual conversations. On the surface, everything may look calm, but beneath that calmness, threads are being tied together, little by little, until a net is formed. It often comes from the people closest to you, the ones who know your steps, your habits, your victories, and your weaknesses. Envy has a way of disguising itself as friendship. Jealousy often wears the mask of concern. A coworker may laugh with you, but behind closed doors they are plotting how to stand in the place you've worked for. A family member may embrace you, but their heart wrestles with resentment because they cannot stand to see you rise higher. And Capricorn, you feel it. You may not hear the words they whisper, but your spirit alerts you. The room changes when they walk in. The air feels heavier, almost uncomfortable. Your chest tightens when they speak, even when their voice is sweet. This is the language of the unseen. It is not paranoia, it is discernment. Traps are always about timing. They do not strike while you are alert. They wait. They wait until you are tired, until you let down your guard, until you finally breathe easy thinking the storm has passed. They wait until you are celebrating, smiling, and convinced the path is safe. And it is in that moment of rest that the snare is pulled. But Capricorn, listen closely. A trap only works when the target keeps walking blind. You have been given eyes that see deeper than words, a heart that senses what mouths will never admit. And this is your strength. No net, no snare, no secret plan can ever hold a soul that stays in alignment with divine purpose. Yes, they may weave their silence into ropes, but those ropes snap when touched by the light of truth. They may lay nets in the shadows, but shadows dissolve when you walk with awareness. You are not defenseless. You are not unprotected. The net of silence may be forming, but silence cannot stop destiny. And Capricorn, your destiny is stronger than their envy. Signs of a trap forming. Capricorn, you may be asking yourself, how can I know if this trap is really being prepared against me? The truth is, the signs are rarely loud. They are quiet, but they are there, waiting to be noticed. The first sign is sudden misunderstandings with people who once walked beside you without conflict. Words that used to bring peace now turn into arguments. Small differences are stretched into bigger issues. What once felt like unity now feels fragile, as if someone is trying to stir confusion and pull apart what was once strong. The second sign is when opportunities that should have been simple begin to delay without reason. You send applications, but responses don't come. You prepare for meetings, but they keep being canceled. You are promised help, but somehow it never arrives. The road that once seemed open suddenly feels blocked. This delay is not random. It is part of the snare, designed to slow your progress and wear down your confidence. The third sign shows itself in your dreams. You may dream of being tangled, caught, or unable to move forward. You may see yourself walking but never reaching the destination, or being pulled back no matter how much effort you give. These dreams carry meaning. They echo what is being designed in the unseen. They warn you that something is trying to bind your steps. Another sign is false flattery. Someone praises you, but the words don't bring warmth. Instead, they feel heavy, almost as if they are sugar-coated with hidden poison. Compliments that sound hollow, smiles that never reach the eyes, these are not gestures of love. They are masks. Behind the sweetness lies envy, and behind the kindness lies a plan. Capricorn, you are naturally discerning. You usually know who is real and who is false. But lately, your spirit may feel clouded. You may even begin to doubt your own intuition. That confusion is not by accident, it is part of the trap. A snare works best when the target ignores their inner alarm, when the victim convinces themselves that nothing is wrong. But hear me, Capricorn, trust what you feel. That tightness in your chest, that sudden unease, that voice inside that whispers something is not right, that is your warning. Do not push it aside. Do not explain it away. Your spirit knows before your eyes can see. A trap forming always announces itself with signs. The question is, will you notice them? Or will you walk as if nothing is there? The enemies closest to you. Capricorn, I must tell you the hardest truth. The trap you fear will not be set by a stranger. It will be set by the ones who walk beside you. The ones who eat at your table. The ones who know how your footsteps sound when you come through the door. Think carefully. When has a stranger ever been able to wound you deeply? When has someone far away had the power to break your spirit? It is never the distant voice that causes the deepest pain. It is the familiar one. It is the people close enough to know your victories and your struggles, the ones who have watched you climb slowly, step by step, toward your place of strength. You see, Capricorn, the closer a person stands to your heart, the more power they have to wound it. And that is why betrayal rarely comes from outside, it comes from within. A so-called friend may clap for you in public, but in private, they cannot stand the sound of your name being honored. A family member may hug you warmly, but inside they resent the way blessings seem to find you. A partner may speak of love, but quietly, they envy the courage and authority you carry in your spirit. And the painful truth is this: these are the very people who can place snares in your path without you noticing. They know how you think. They know where you are vulnerable. They know what words can break your focus. The mask of pretend love. Betrayal often wears a mask. The face that smiles at you is not the face that plots against you. A friend who pretends to care may show up with gentle words, but listen closely. Their comfort feels empty. Their advice pushes you toward doubt. Their questions make you feel smaller instead of stronger. This is no accident. It is the mask of someone who cannot celebrate the fullness of who you are. Capricorn, the mask is the first stage of the trap. They must appear harmless to stay close enough to strike. The silent jealousy of blood. Even family is not exempt. In fact, family can be the most dangerous when envy takes root. A relative who has watched your growth may secretly wonder why your path shines brighter than theirs. They may smile at gatherings, but the envy leaks out in small ways. The backhanded comment, the dismissive remark, the cold silence after your victories. Capricorn, you feel this. You know the heaviness in the room when your success is spoken of. You know the way your joy is met with questions instead of congratulations. This too is a sign of a trap being woven. Look back through history and you will see this pattern again and again. The strongest leaders, the most gifted souls, were not undone by distant enemies. No, they were undone by those closest. Warriors were betrayed not by strangers on the battlefield, but by those they once called brother. Kings were not toppled by enemies outside the gates, but by hands inside their own palaces. Why? Because distance cannot destroy you. Only closeness has that power. Only someone within your circle can set a snare where you least expect it. In Capricorn, you carry the spirit of a leader. You carry the weight of destiny. This means the closer ones in your circle may be tempted to betray, not because you have wronged them, but because your very existence reminds them of what they lack. The shift you cannot ignore. You may already suspect who this is. Think of the shift you've felt. The sudden silence from someone who used to speak freely, the way their eyes seem to look past you instead of at you, the way your victories are met with a smile that doesn't quite reach their face. This is not your imagination. It is not paranoia. It is awareness. Your spirit sees what your heart doesn't want to admit. Capricorn, do not dismiss these signs. When someone pulls away in silence, it is often because they are wrestling inside. And when silence grows too heavy, it often covers up resentment, jealousy, or secret plans. The trap is being prepared in their silence. But fear not the betrayal. And yet, I must remind you of this. Do not fear betrayal. Do not allow the thought of hidden enemies to shake you. Because betrayal is not your end. It is simply revelation. When betrayal rises, it shows you what was already hidden in the heart of the betrayer. The mask slips. The truth comes to light. And while it may wound, it also frees you. You can no longer be fooled, no longer be deceived, no longer be bound by blind trust. Capricorn, betrayal may hurt, but it also sharpens you. It teaches you to see with new eyes, to trust your spirit more than empty words, to know that loyalty must be proven, not spoken. So yes, the trap may be set by those closest to you, but when it is revealed, it is they who are exposed, not you. It is they who fall into the pit of their own jealousy, while you continue to climb higher. Remember this, a snare set for you will never hold you, it will only reveal them. Divine protection in disguise. Capricorn, this is where the story of danger changes into the story of protection. Yes, a trap may be set. Yes, the whispers may grow louder, but listen carefully. Heaven does not sit idle while evil makes its plans. From the beginning of your journey, divine eyes have been on you. Even before you knew which road you would walk, a shield was already placed around your steps. That is why, even when the snare is ready, it cannot hold you. The hands of heaven are quicker, stronger, and wiser than the schemes of people. Closed doors that saved you. Think back on your life, Capricorn. How many times did you want something so badly, only to watch it slip away? You cried over doors that closed. You felt broken over opportunities that dissolved. You asked yourself why things seemed to fall apart when you were so prepared. But what if those very losses were your rescue? The friendship that ended suddenly. Maybe it was because that person's heart was planning to betray you. The job you didn't get? Maybe it would have chained you in a place where your gifts were wasted and your soul was drained. The relationship that collapsed when you thought it would last forever. Perhaps it was the very bond that would have dragged you into destruction. What looked like loss was really preservation. What felt like heartbreak was really heaven saying, "Not this way, not this door, not this person." Delays are not denials. Capricorn, the traps meant for you often wait on roads you are eager to take. That is why delays come. You prepare for a meeting, but it is canceled. You plan for an event, but it is postponed. You expect an answer, but silence greets you instead. And in those moments, you feel forgotten. But what if that canceled meeting was the very day someone had sharpened their tongue to discredit you? What if that silence was protection from a conversation that would have tied you into lies you could not escape? Delays are not denials. They are redirections. They turn your feet away from paths where danger lies waiting. The trap may have been ready, but your absence was your shield. Capricorn, divine timing rarely looks like what you want. It often disguises itself in frustration. You think you are being slowed down, but you are actually being synchronized with a greater rhythm. Imagine a snare set in the woods, waiting for an animal to pass. The trap only works if the timing is exact. But what if the steps of that animal are delayed? What if it is guided to pause, to linger, to turn another way? Then the snare is left useless. That is what happens with you. The snare was ready, but you were delayed, so you did not step into it. What you thought was an obstacle was actually your rescue. You may never know the full number of traps that were set against you. You may never see the depth of harm that was planned, but never reached you. And maybe that is mercy itself, that you don't carry the weight of what could have been. But if your eyes were opened for even a moment, you would see how many times the hand of heaven redirected your path. You would see the accidents you didn't encounter, the betrayals that were blocked, the false agreements you were never tied into. Every rejection, every disappointment, every closed door was not abandonment. It was an invisible wall placed between you and destruction. Capricorn, you are not walking alone. Even when it feels like you have no shield, you are surrounded. Even when you cannot explain why things shifted, you are being guided. The hidden hand that moves. The trap is set, but the hidden hand of heaven moves faster. It moves people out of your path. It removes opportunities that were poisoned. It silences voices that planned to harm you. It blinds enemies who thought they could see your every move. You may look at your life and say, why did this happen? Why was I blocked? Why did that door close? And heaven whispers back, because I saw what you did not. Because I protected you from what you could not see. Capricorn, this is divine protection in disguise. It is not loud, it does not announce itself with thunder. It moves quietly, like the shield you only recognize after the danger has passed. So when life delays you, trust it. When doors close, trust them. When people leave you suddenly, trust that too. Because while others are weaving traps in silence, heaven is building shields in silence as well. You are not unguarded. You are not forgotten. Every step you take is being measured, every move watched over. And though the enemy may prepare snares in the dark, they will not succeed. Capricorn, believe this with all your heart. The trap may be set, but it will never be sprung upon you. Divine protection is always one step ahead. How to break the snare. So Capricorn, the question rises, how do you break free from what has been secretly planned against you? How do you make sure the snare does not hold you and the trap does not silence you? The answer is not found in fear. It is found in wisdom, in awareness, and in the strength that is already inside you. Let us walk through this carefully, step by step. Awareness. The first shield is awareness. You must never dismiss the warnings of your spirit. Your heart knows before your eyes can see. If something feels off, trust it. That sudden heaviness when someone enters the room, that is not random. The restless dreams that leave you unsettled, those are not meaningless. The tightening in your chest when someone speaks with false kindness, this is your inner alarm ringing. Do not silence it. Do not convince yourself it is nothing. Awareness is the light that exposes the shadow. The more you listen to your spirit, the more you will see where the traps are being set. A person can lie with words, but energy does not lie. When your soul whispers, pay attention. Boundaries. The second shield is boundaries. Capricorn, you are strong and giving by nature, and sometimes that strength makes you tolerate more than you should. But not everyone who stands near you deserves access to your heart. When actions no longer match words, you must pull back. When someone's presence consistently drains you, you must step away. You owe no explanation for protecting your peace. It is not cruelty to distance yourself from people who sow confusion. It is wisdom. Setting boundaries is not building walls, it is building gates. Gates open for those who come with love, but they close against those who come with hidden intentions. A trap loses its power when the trapper cannot reach you. Prayer and affirmation. The third shield is prayer and affirmation. Capricorn, your words are powerful. They are not empty sounds. They are declarations that shape your atmosphere. Each morning, rise and speak life over yourself. Declare with confidence, no weapon formed against me will prosper. Say it not once, but until your spirit believes it fully. When you pray, you are not speaking into empty air. You are aligning yourself with divine authority. You are covering your steps with protection that no snare can penetrate. And when you affirm your strength, you remind your soul that you are not a victim. You are a survivor, a warrior, a chosen one who cannot be bound by traps. Action. The fourth shield is action. Awareness and prayer must be joined with wise steps. Walk with caution, move slower. Do not rush into agreements. Do not be quick to trust words without testing actions. The mountain goat climbs carefully, step by step, and that is why it does not fall. This is also your gift, Capricorn. Move with intention. Let patience be your weapon. When you act deliberately, traps lose their power because snares rely on haste and blindness. Every decision you make with wisdom is a rope cut, a net torn, a trap broken before it can touch you. The endurance of Capricorn. And remember this, Capricorn, you are not powerless. You were born with the endurance of the mountain goat, designed to climb where others cannot. Valleys cannot hold you. Cliffs cannot stop you. Even when you stumble, you find your footing again. No trap can keep you bound unless you agree to stay inside it. You were never built to live in cages. You were built to rise, to climb, to reach heights that others cannot imagine. So break the snare with your awareness. Break it with your boundaries. Break it with your prayers and affirmations. Break it with your deliberate, cautious actions. Every step you take in wisdom is another chain falling to the ground. Capricorn, the trap may be set, but you carry the strength to step over it. You carry the power to see beyond it. And most of all, you carry the endurance to rise higher than it can ever reach. Capricorn, listen closely as we come to the end of this message. Yes, a trap may have been set, but it will not succeed. The very net that was woven in silence will tear apart before it reaches you. The very stone that was placed in your path will be rolled away. What was meant to break you will reveal itself, and what was meant to block you will turn into a stepping stone toward your greater blessings. Do not carry fear with you after hearing this. Carry peace, because when you walk away from this message, you are not walking alone. You are walking with the assurance that you are covered, guided, and shielded. You are watched over by a wisdom higher than the schemes of people and by a strength deeper than any shadow. So type it one last time in the comments as a seal upon your spirit. I will not fall into the trap. Do not just write it as words. Write it as a declaration, as an agreement between your spirit and your destiny. Let it echo beyond this moment. Every time you see it written, let it remind you of the promise that you are untouchable when you remain aligned with divine purpose. Capricorn, stay connected, because clarity and protection do not come once. They come again and again. Messages like this are given to open your eyes, to warn your heart, to prepare your steps. That is why you must subscribe and remain here, so that no snare waiting in silence can ever catch you unaware. Remember this truth and let it sink deeply. No snare, no plan, no whispered betrayal can cancel what has already been carved for you. Your destiny was written before the trap was designed, and no scheme is strong enough to erase what is eternal. You are chosen, you are protected, and your purpose is larger than the jealousy of others. So walk forward, not in fear, but in confidence, not with hesitation, but with steady steps. Know that even if traps are set, they will never prosper. Even if plans are whispered, they will collapse before they touch you. Even if nets are woven, they will break apart as soon as you approach. Capricorn, let peace be your companion. Let wisdom be your guard. Let strength be your posture. The trap may be set, but it was never meant for you. You were born to rise above snares, to climb beyond obstacles, to walk into destiny untouched by the bitterness of others. And so, step forward now with courage. Your path is not destruction, it is elevation. Your story is not betrayal, it is breakthrough. And your journey is not fear, it is victory.